And of course, we're moving straight to our first discussion segment on the program this morning. We are going straight looking at the Niger Delta Ministry spendings as the case is. And of course, there have been a lot of issues as to this development. And let me give you a little bit of background over this development. We have the House of Representatives has queried the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs over a training program allegedly held in Dubai, United Arab Emirates in 2014 at the cost of 48 million naira. The House Committee on Public Account also queried the ministry over the purchase of some smartphones and tablets at the cost of 14 million naira without valid documents. The committee said expenditure was uncovered in the 2014 audit report. The Auditor General of the Federation, in which a query was sent to the ministry for explanation on how these monies were spent. But while responding to the query in the report, the ministry claimed to have spent 48 million naira for a training program for 23 members of its staff, though without any evidence that the training took place as claimed. These are huge and humongous allegations against the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. But to look at all of this development with us this morning is a person of Angel for Lawrence, and of course is a public commentator. We're looking at Niger Delta Ministry spendings. It's great to have you back on the program.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. A lot of things are happening in this ministry. Don't forget that this ministry supervises the activities of the NDDC, and reports arrive that perhaps the National Assembly and the presidency might, be at a loggerhead over the budget of NDDC for year 2020. But let's start this way. Musa Yar'Adua, the late president, created this ministry, and it was for a purpose at a point in time. Just 2 days ago in Port Harcourt, ex-militants protested, asking, that 14-day ultimatum was issued, and after which, if the government does not, do their biddings, they're going to, do what they normally do and all that. How relevant is the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs in this dispensation?
Well, thank you very much. Well, to some extent, you want to say that it's relevant. I mean, the wisdom of President Yar'Adua came at that point in time in order to forestall or to put a stopper to the so-called insurgency cropping up in the Niger Delta as a result of neglect over the years. And of course, when Kensarowiwa was judicially murdered, we told them that so many things would be happening there. And then some people were hanged on all those things, and then things started happening. So that one environmental, some described the things happening in Niger Delta as environmental genocide, and they're not taking proper care of an area or the zone that is producing the wealth of the nation. So as a result of that one, in his wisdom, he thought it wise that there will be need to take special care of Niger Delta by way of taking care in terms of infrastructural development, and then of course human capital development. So after that one, that ministry was first of all on PEDEC. Then after that one, they talk of NDDC. The ministry thing, as far as I'm concerned, I do. So which means if there's any crisis in another zone, go and bring ministry to take care. Look at what is happening in the Northeast now. There's another maybe commission in the Northwest. I mean, all this type of thing.
Even the Southwest is agitating for
that type of thing is not the way to develop. You understand? There are ways through which you power this, you funnel this money through the governors, the states, and then they take care of their community where the local government is functioning well. But with the ministry now, they have created another bureaucracy, and then, of course, hierarchical structure, and then what will follow? These systemic routes to we really follow, and then it will create room for some people to become emergency millionaire, and then to create more and more, corruption and so on and so forth. But all the same, it has done the little thing by way of maybe trying to take care of some of those insurgents who are repentant. Some of them were sent outside the country to go and study engineering and so on. Some even came with first class and what have you, and then up till now, and then they're paying them stipend and so on. So I think by now that ministry should be winding down. They leave it at the realm of parastatal, but now they are bringing even that parastatal under ministry, so that it will become, maybe because one big chap somewhere now is now heading certain ministry and so on. So to some extent, I think that type of a fire brigade approach towards solving the national problems.
But if you look at the antecedent of those that have been handling this ministry, coming from the days of Urubebe and the rest of them, you know, if you look at the antecedent, and these are people who are coming from the Niger Delta, would you not be surprised, as a matter of fact, that this one term of monies could be misplaced, given the fact that they are from that soil and they know what their people are passing through? They know how oil spillage has damaged the environment. They know how natural habitat is no longer existing because of the massive pollution. Would you, as a matter of fact, believe at this point in time that anyone coming from that soil, manning that ministry, will want to misappropriate funds, running into several millions of naira?
Yeah, even not even trillions now. So, well, I mean, to believe is just to believe, and then that may not necessarily mean much. But the point is that when you look at all the problems currently facing this country, Niger Delta cannot just be extricated. It is a systemic problem. And that problem comes.
But we are faced with Niger Delta today.
Yeah, that's what was it.
And the review, and not also forget that Godswill Akpabio is already saying that there's a rot that he met on ground, which means
Akpabio is saying there's a rot.
Yes, of course, he is talking about the NDDC now.
Is it not that former governor of
what does that mean? He's now the minister of Niger Delta.
And that's how
And of course he has
rot. In any great nation that has anywhere to go in this century, should people like that one come and be holding position again? Somebody who is facing the FCC.
He's not handling a governorship position.
It's not governorship. He shouldn't be given any post in a Senate line. Somebody, all those governors, all those
are allegations.
The fact that they are mentioning your name in anything of that nature, you don't need to show face at all.
They are deemed to be suspect.
The fact that your name is mentioned
by law,
the fact that your name,
they have committed an offense.
The fact that your name is mentioned calls for you not to be involved at all, because there will be pollution of the stream of justice, basic, because you're influencing a lot of things.
So are you not already castigating him, even before the court making any pronouncement?
Take this thing clearly. If you are working, I'm talking ethically here. Ethics.
But really,
I'm talking ethics here. I'm not talking law.
Let's look at the mantra of this present administration. It's kicking against corruption. Would you think, as a matter of fact, that this administration will succumb to anyone being corrupt and have him handle office as critical?
Why are you just?
I'm asking the
Why
question.
are you stating the obvious?
Okay.
Why are you stating the obvious? These are the moment your name is mentioned is something that is, they say, allegation. You don't even move closer. You say, wash my name, then I come back. And if I don't come back, you have washed my name, I'm okay. These are the people that are ruining the nations. These are the people that are stealing money. And then you say, we'll come to the broadcast, we'll be covering them. They know themselves. Put island on ground and let them finish and let's see what will happen. I will not have said this type of thing. I'm telling you, these are the people. Go to their state. That man you have just mentioned, billions of naira is rolling somewhere. They don't know where to the lake.
He was named the digital governor because of some of the things that he did for his state. And are you saying, Akpabio here, are you saying, as a matter of fact,
I said
Akpabio cannot look at the corruption in the Niger Delta?
He is not the type of person to look at that one. He should first of all remove the club from his own eyes. You understand?
He is the one giving the responsibility now.
That is to tell you that this so-called corruption that you are fighting is a rules. That's the meaning. That's the implication. If you are putting people that are having all sort of things hanging on their neck, constituting a kind of a clique in the Senate, the Red Chamber, and then say they are former governors, go to their state. They fight all sort of corruption something on them because they belong to one political party. Have you forgotten when the chairman of the APC said that once you join them in their political party, they will forgive you all your sins? Why you not in this one that time, man?
Mr. Felonshore, let's look at these. We're looking at Niger Delta Ministry spending.
Yes.
Now, I'm just wondering, you did say that perhaps trillions of naira have been expended on this particular ministry. And we're looking at the ministry that is taking care of just a region of the country. Now, when you look at what's on ground, is there any justification for the humongous amount of money that this country has expended on the Niger Delta region?
What they are saying is the money is not showing. That is why 23 persons who say they are going for training in Dubai. You are going for training
at the cost of 48 million naira. Is that outrageous?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, one thing is this. It depends on the level of officers involved. And then all those things will have been converted into dollars. So by the time you bring it from dollars to our own naira, it becomes bigger something. And to their own status, it may not mean much. You understand? For those who are really in the system. But the basic thing is that in reporting system financial reporting system. Any money taken, even in this office, you must retire it, which means you give the giver the feedback. This is the way I've spent the money. Back up with what they call evidential proofs in terms of receipts and some other things. The people in the reps now, that mean the chairman of the Wale-Oke, Honorable Wale-Oke, is asking that show us the evidence that you have spent this money. The company that has come to ask for the money is not the company that was paid. Hey, these are things they've done that since 2014, and then look at why should they be buying tablets and
smartphones?
Smartphones. Why should, are they farmers? But
when you look at it, one question that comes to mind is, which is the way forward? Yeah, which is the way forward? Because we're looking at Niger Delta Ministry now. It's not the only one.
It's not the only one
that is, culpable here.
It's not the only one.
The lawmakers will always tell us that hundreds of MDAs don't retire their funds. Don't forget the and so the joke is on us now. How do we move from here?
My brother and sister, what is going to happen is you have to restructure this country. You start with
restructuring,
mental restructuring. These
restructuring.
people should dematerialize themselves. Education is not enough. We need edification, proper development of the mind. If people are against you are on the right path, let them be against you. It doesn't matter.
You need to break all of these things down.
Yeah.
You are saying we do not need only education, we need edification. Now, what's the difference between both?
You can be a professor or you can be anybody, and then you get to a certain position, you start misbehaving there. If you are edified, your mind cannot just be corrupted that way. People may be against you. You are not bothered. Stilly in your dispute and conviction, because you are for the masses, you are for the people. What are you going to take? What does it take? You dematerialize yourself for the purpose of servicing the masses, the people. You understand? And then you will be in their mind forever. These people, they are just materializing, bringing the needed and the unneeded. They are bringing them to themselves. So when they now see themselves, plenty of them, then they become a class. And then as a class now, then they bribe this, they bribe that, they take care of the judicial system, they rubbish them, they give them all sort of thing, then you won't get justice. And if you don't get justice, what are you going to get? You get injustice. And after that injustice and nothing concrete is done, the other one will come with done with justice. So okay, I don't have correct way of doing justice. Let me go come for done with justice. And that is why you are seeing crisis everywhere. And then they say they are fighting. This is not the way to fight corruption.
When you look at the man Godswill Akpabio, the moment he took
I don't want to discuss the man.
Now he revealed a lot of things. He's not the first minister. He revealed it's under him that Nigerians got to know that a lot of corruption are taking place at NDDC. It took the same man that you're talking about. Now there is this crisis on ground now. Certain budget was prepared, and of course the National Assembly is saying, come, this particular budget was not prepared by this NDDC board that has just been newly appointed.
Yes.
And so the presidency is saying, approve the figure that is before you and all of that. So wait in here. Who will you give it to? Should the National Assembly go ahead with what the presidency wants? The presidency is saying your business is not with which board is presenting what. You just approve this budget. Now there is trillions of naira had been sunk. Ondo State is on that board.
Yes.
You have Delta State,
yes,
and all of these states receive 13% derivation.
That's right.
Unfortunately, these states, take for instance, since 1999, Delta State remains the state with the highest, is the highest recipient of federal allocation, but nothing to show for it. So how do we move from here? Talking about this impending feud between the presidency and the National Assembly over NDDC budgets, what should be done?
Well, it is this, you still go back to corruption. And that corruption, when this government came to power, 2015, some of us, we told them that you won't succeed in this fighting if you don't have special tribunal. 6 years later, it's now looking for it. You can see that some of us are prophetic. 6 years after, is now saying they need special court. Because the regular courts will be going through the snail speed and delay things, and justice delayed, justice denied. So if you don't have proper way of catching them and punishing those that have misbehaved or that have expanded the cookie jar of the nation illegally, then it will not work, because they will say it's just business as usual, nothing will happen. So as a result of that one, before the thing happens, that is proactive. we should start looking at proactive methods. And that is why people are...
Is that achievable in this country?
Yes, it's achievable. That's why people are calling for e-governance, paperless office. You understand? E-record system. You understand? So, no, if you... It is a function of this is what we want to do in our organization. If you don't like, you go away, go and be doing another thing. But some group of people will just sit somewhere and say, this is the way they want to be making this country. And then things will continue that way.
Let's go back to the Ogoni cleanup, because it's one major area that the Niger Delta has been facing for a very long time. And we have a lot of activists like the likes of Asari and the rest of them who have been called militants over the years. But if you look at the Ogoni cleanup itself, what sincerity do you see? Because there's a lot of money being voted into that environmental cleanup, but nothing appears to be showing. And of course, the Niger Delta Ministry should have been like in the forefront of all of this. What is happening to the Ogoni cleanup? What do you think are some of the impediments that has been working against us?
Thank you very much. I think President Buhari, tried to show something as regards that cleanup by, setting up some committee or whatever to go and do the cleanup, and then they did some flag off, a kind of ceremony.
Do they need a jamboree for that?
Ceremony. That's part of what I say, ceremonies, and then trying to make people to believe that, and then so most of these things they are going to do there, they find it difficult to use their own, even internally generated power and the means of, cleaning that something. That thing wouldn't have been allowed to escalate up to that point. Operation dig my soil, and then make sure that you take care of my environment. That should have been the first thing. These people gave away their nation. They are patriotic. They gave away their nation to the international corporate system. And then which condition?
Do we have the facilities to actually drill oil? We have it.
That's what I'm saying.
We need their partnership too.
If you need their partnership, what they are not doing in their country, they should not bring this thing here. This place just enables anything. In 1988, you saw what happened at Cocoa. Nigerians now importing toxic waste. We use it in exams. Toxic waste as editorial. So what are we talking? He said, bring toxic waste to cocoa in Niger Delta data from Italy. These people, they are not patriotic. And they don't love this country. They hate this country. And that's why it's happening. And then we have lethargic followers who just allow anything to go because they are getting crumbs from the table.
How lethargic are the people?
They are very lethargic.
We are looking at the Niger Delta spendings now. We've talked about Akpabio. And of course, we've had the likes of Orubebe in that sector.
Orubebe, I see.
Yeah, if you look at all of this development itself, who now begins to put punitive measures to check the spendings of this ministry? Because it's critical to the nation's economy. Even though the president is coming out very recently saying that the revenues coming from oil, it's not enough to sustain the economy and the challenges that we have in the country. Who now creates this cleanup, the punitive measures?
I can't understand. This will just making all of us to look as if we don't even have brain for anything. What is this? They don't have money. Which money?
He said he's not.
They are making money on daily basis, minute by minute. Which one? Customs?
You think so?
I'm telling you, these people are making money.
Are you aware that the president has approached the National Assembly seeking approval for $29.9 billion?
APC is a borrower. APC government is known for borrowing.
Is it about which party is in power?
Progressive party. Anywhere in the world, they are big spender. They thinking and they go for tax. But if you are using it critically and for the benefit of the masses, nobody will say anything. You understand? We know them, progressive something anywhere in the world. That's their thinking. They will say they want to assist the masses. Then they will go for tax. They can tax tomato, anything. But the point is that you are bringing this thing to type of people surrounding you that they don't have the love of the country. And then they will just get there, do whatever they like. As a president that has now abdicated, giving his power to his chief of staff.
Those are allegations. Because
you see allegations. If you want to come to me, go and see. Why are you talking?
In as much as you have talked passionately about,
why are you talking about?
They're not far-fetched.
About the one who said it. He said it himself.
Are they far-fetched? That he has transmitted his power to his chief of staff.
He said before you could see him. Which means
what does that mean?
If minister is going to see him now, minister that is manning a ministry or manning a ministry to make sure that on behalf of the president, will now go to somebody who just and pick somewhere. Chief of staff.
Is it wrong?
What does that change? What does it change?
It's over 80. Somebody who is about 80. If he's supposed to get to work around 9 a.m., we will be there around 2. Then imagine the number of files we'll be able to pick. imagine a kind of unnecessary plutocratic.
Let's not deviate too much. We're talking about the Niger Delta here, and of course
you went to that area. That's all I'm saying. One thing leads to the other. These people there, I don't understand them.
In as much as you are passionate about your own view and
about this nation, it's not about my opinion. About this nation,
you're expressing your.
This nation is not going the way it's supposed to go.
Okay.
Don't let us deceive ourselves.
It's not going the way
it is.
Which way should it be going?
This nation should be going the way that. In terms of education, look at the educational system. Are we getting it right? Students are coming out, graduating, no job, no this, no that. And there are jobs everywhere.
Are jobs
everywhere. They don't understand how to tap into this thing.
In as much as we put all the bulk of blames on the system in terms of those who are governing the system, let's not forget that there are pressure groups. It took a National Assembly to begin to look at the spendings of the Niger Delta in 2014 and trying to do an audit of that. What is happening to the pressure group? What are they doing? Are they sleeping?
Our pressure groups are doing their own too. Some NGOs, some civil society.
So for how long this corruption has been going on?
You see some of them in court.
In the ministry.
You see some of them in court.
Delta. How come they are not talking about?
You see some of them in court spending their own money, taking money from some donors, agencies. That one itself is another way of looking at the matter.
That the pressure group are not too docile.
They are not. It is you journalists now that should wake up and go for real investigative journalism. Even though some of you are facing some challenges now, they are detaining some here and there because the government is maybe, I don't know, maybe it's allergic to the truth. I don't know. So journalists should wake up and come out. You are part and parcel of those that will build this country from this rock.
What is the role of the pressure group? The journalists cannot take a side.
If this thing that you people are doing, and you say Nigeria is moving, you are going through what they call progressive retardation. Seriously moving backward. 100 years backward. I'm telling you.
This
I'm telling you.
And where do you?
They are nowhere.
Okay, if
they are not started at all.
If what
is degrading the meaning and annoying.
If what you are saying is anything to go, in this age, where do you think this country is headed?
With this new something, I see fiasco. I see Waterloo there. I see Waterloo.
But if you are this pessimistic, how do we move forward? Because we are
pessimism is in the dictionary. That's why I just look for its meaning. That's all.
But the thing is that, in as much as you have not expressed any form of optimism about development of the country,
I am not saying
optimistic.
I am not saying that.
Because we are looking at the spendings, and you are saying, as a matter of fact, that those that are handling that ministry have not been sincere. We mentioned Akpabio now. You do not even think, as a matter of fact, that it has the credibility and integrity to look at that.
Why should we be in power?
Who should not clean up some of these excesses?
That is to tell you.
Are we going to get a messiah to do that?
In fact, what we need people who can turn stone to bread. You understand? And that's why it will take revolution. And that revolution is not just to be killing people. There's nothing like that. Get one pure scientist or one technologist. This is okay. That's why education is number one. Any government that is not prioritizing education is nowhere, as far as I'm concerned. Is Socrates or this Aristotle not product of education?
Now you're saying.
So what are we talking?
Are you suggesting?
They'll be telling you they don't have this, they don't have that. People will be stealing money on that. What would they have? Tell me.
Are you suggesting, Mr. Florenshaw, that Nigeria is not prioritizing education?
It's not at the federal level. God bless this state, your state here. That's what it's trying now.
But on daily basis, just imagine the number of people that left
from 26% of UNESCO, 7 to 26%. Asking all these professors to be suffering. A professor cannot take 1 million naira per month.
We have to really go. But
let's go.
But for the Niger Delta spendings, how do we begin to address some of these anomalies?
Every spending.
So that
once you are giving money, that is international standard of financial reporting. Once you are giving money, even in your office here, you must tell the person that has given you money the way you have spent it. I don't support any
tracked, even when you are not being told. When there's no
the way you do is that if it is not tracked, they wouldn't have detected it.
But it took a long time.
That is to tell you that the thing delayed.
As we wrap up, the former Minister of Environment, Zainab Mohammed, now that left for the United Nations, her last assignment was to flag off the Ogoni cleanup project. You remember at that time, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo represented the president there because the president was threatened that should he showed up and all that. Now that project had been flagged off. But of course, the people are still complaining that nothing is happening. The suggestion.
Well, they should do something. They should make something to happen. But for something to happen, this nation, the trend where this nation is going, I don't see anything.
What are your parting shots? Because
the parting shot
on
is
this
that
very development.
on this very development, if you are giving money, it is not your own money. If it is a republic money, this is the national money. If it is IBR money, you must tell the manager, this is the way I spend the money.
Even with the TSA.
Through what means?
We have a TSA structure.
That TSA something is another debacle on its own. So that one for another time. Because you can't bring it, you are not bringing TSA to all this university system or whatever. You don't do things like that. We delay a lot of things. I haven't tried for 2-3 years. You forget it, you move to another. They are always static and they cannot go dynamic something. So retirement process is crucial to financial administration and financial reporting. You have spent money. These are the evidences. Evidently construction. And then what will you do? You bring your receipt, you bring this ticket and whatever. But this case you have just read, they didn't bring any of those things. Which made the money go back. So maybe they didn't even
a clear-cut case of corruption you are suggesting.
It's a clear case of corruption and it should be proved.
Thank you so much.
It should be proved.
Thank
you so much.
That is what he said last, that he needed to be probed, okay? And I think that is what the House of Representatives will be doing at the end of the day. We must say thank you so much to Angel Folorunsho.
Thank you.
He is a public commentator, and we've been looking at Niger Delta Ministry spendings. We just have to take this break. When we come back, it will be another guest and another topic. Please stay with us.